In the sun-drenched lands of the Aegean, where rugged mountains meet the sparkling sea, a civilization was born that would shape the course of Western history. This is the story of ancient Greece. Scattered across a landscape of steep hills and countless islands, the early Greeks did not form a single, unified kingdom. Instead, independent city-states, known as palaeus, emerged. Each polis, like a tiny nation, had its own government, laws, and army. Athens, Sparta, Corinth were not just cities, but fierce rivals and proud cultural centers, each with a unique identity. Their economies thrived on the fertile plains where olives and grapes grew, and on the sea, which connected them to a wider world of trade and ideas. Yet, despite their independence and frequent rivalries, a common thread bound them together. They spoke the same language, worshipped the same gods on Mount Olympus, and called themselves Hellenes, children of a shared heritage. This delicate balance of independence and unity would define their destiny. In the heart of Attica, the city-state of Athens embarked on a revolutionary experiment. Around the 5th century BCE, a new form of government began to take shape, one that would echo through millennia: democracy. For the first time, power was placed in the hands of the people. Citizens at the time, free adult men born in Athens, were not just subjects, but active participants. They could gather in the assembly to debate laws, vote on policies, and hold their leaders accountable. This radical idea did not appear overnight. It was the culmination of reforms by visionary leaders. Solon laid the groundwork by easing the burden of debt on the poor. Cleisthenes later reorganized the citizenry to break the power of aristocratic clans, truly establishing rule by the people. It was under the leadership of Pericles, however, that Athenian democracy reached its zenith. He championed the full participation of all citizens, even paying the poor to serve on juries, ensuring that justice was not only the privilege of the wealthy. This bold Athenian system, though imperfect, became the blueprint for the modern democracies we live in today. As Athens was pioneering democracy, a formidable threat loomed from the east. The vast Persian Empire, the superpower of its day, turned its gaze toward the small, quarrelsome Greek cities. In a series of conflicts known as the Persian Wars, from 490 to 479 BCE, the Greeks faced their greatest test. Against overwhelming odds, they united. The war gave rise to legendary battles that still inspire awe. At Marathon, a small Athenian force charged and defeated a much larger Persian army, a victory so stunning that a messenger famously ran to Athens to announce it. At the narrow pass of Thermopylae, a small band of Spartans, led by King Leonidas, made a heroic last stand that bought precious time for the rest of Greece. At sea, in the Straits of Salamis, the Athenian navy outmaneuvered and decimated the Persian fleet. Finally, at Plataea, a combined Greek army secured the ultimate victory, ending the Persian threat. This triumph was more than just a military success. It forged a powerful sense of Greek identity and pride, ushering in an era of unprecedented confidence and creativity. Athens, having played a crucial role in the victory, emerged as the dominant naval and political power in the Aegean world. While the city-states vied for power, a new force was rising in the north. From the kingdom of Macedon came a leader whose name would become legendary: Alexander the Great. Tutored by the philosopher Aristotle, Alexander was not just a brilliant military strategist, but also a man with a grand vision. Ascending to the throne after his father, Philip II, he embarked on one of the most ambitious military campaigns in history. In just over a decade, his army swept across the known world. He shattered the Persian Empire, conquered Egypt where he was hailed as a pharaoh, and pushed his forces as far east as India. But Alexander's conquests were not merely about power. Everywhere he went, he brought Greek culture with him. He founded numerous cities, many named Alexandria, which became vibrant hubs of learning and commerce. This deliberate fusion of Greek and Eastern traditions created a new cosmopolitan culture known as Hellenism. Greek language, art, philosophy, and science spread across 3 continents, creating a cultural legacy that would outlive his short life and bridge the gap between the classical Greek world and the rise of Rome. To understand the ancient Greeks is to understand their gods. Their world was alive with divine beings who resided on the misty peaks of Mount Olympus, led by Zeus, the powerful king of the gods. The Olympian pantheon included figures like Athena, the wise goddess of warfare, and the city, Apollo, the master of music and prophecy, and Aphrodite, the embodiment of love and beauty. These gods were not distant or perfect. They were passionate, flawed, and deeply involved in human affairs. Myths and epic tales, passed down through generations, were not just entertainment. They were the Greeks' way of explaining the world around them: the changing of the seasons, the fury of a storm, the complexities of human emotion. Religion was woven into the fabric of daily life. Grand temples, like the Parthenon in Athens, were built as magnificent homes for the gods, and vibrant festivals with athletic games, theatrical performances, and sacred rituals were held in their honor. This rich mythology was the wellspring of Greek creativity, profoundly influencing their art, literature, and drama, and leaving an indelible mark on Western culture. Following the victory over Persia, Athens entered its golden age. During the 5th century BCE, under the guidance of the statesman Pericles, the city became the undisputed cultural capital of the Greek world. It was an era of extraordinary peace and prosperity, where art, philosophy, and democracy flourished as never before. Pericles used the city's wealth to fund ambitious public works and to promote the arts, believing that beauty and wisdom should be shared by all. The crowning achievement of this period was the construction of the Parthenon on the Acropolis, a breathtaking temple dedicated to the goddess Athena, adorned with sculptures that represented the pinnacle of classical art. The theaters of Athens were alive with the groundbreaking tragedies of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, and the comedies of Aristophanes. In the Agora, the city's marketplace, the philosopher Socrates engaged his fellow citizens in searching questions about truth and justice, laying the foundations of Western philosophy. This remarkable convergence of intellectual and artistic genius made the Golden Age of Athens a beacon of human achievement that still shines brightly. But the Golden Age could not last forever. The very success of Athens bred resentment and fear among other Greek city-states, particularly its old rival Sparta. The growing tension erupted into the devastating Peloponnesian War, a brutal, decades-long conflict that pitted Athens and its allies against Sparta and its league. The war ravaged Greece, draining its resources and spirit. Though Sparta ultimately emerged victorious, the conflict left all the city-states weakened and vulnerable. Their endless infighting made them ripe for conquest. From the north, Philip II of Macedon saw his opportunity and, through a combination of diplomacy and military might, brought the fractured Greek world under his control. His son Alexander the Great would then lead the Greeks on his epic conquest of the East. After Alexander's death, his vast empire fragmented eventually. The once proud Greek city-states were absorbed into a new, rising power, the Roman Empire. Yet, even in defeat, Greek culture did not die. The Romans were immense admirers of Greek art, literature, and philosophy, and they eagerly adopted and spread these ideas throughout their own empire. The legacy of ancient Greece endured, becoming the foundational pillar upon which much of Western civilization was built. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through ancient Greece. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the past. We'll see you in the next one.